Hi guys, welcome to another review video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Comedian from the Before Watchmen series. Yeah, I have my little heart-shaped pajamas on, and I have books right here, so I'm pretty much ready to go. So without further ado, I'm just going to give you guys the basic lineup of like the writers and the artists and so forth and so on. I noticed that in a lot of my previous videos, I don't list them in the description box, which is pretty important, and I think I should do that. So I'm going to list like the writers and the artists in the description box below so you guys know, and just so the creators get proper recognition, of course. So like I said, without further ado, we are going to get into this review. And the writer for the Comedian is Brian Azzarello, and Brian Azzarello is also the writer for the Rorschach series, which is no surprise that the Comedian series came out just as good. And the artist is J.G Jones, and J.G Jones also does the cover art. I just want to make that distinction because sometimes the artist doesn't necessarily always do the cover art. So it's rare, but I just noticed that, and I was just like, oh, maybe I think it's important that I make that distinction. So yeah, I'm gonna be mentioning the cover artists as well because sometimes they're different. But like I said, it's rarely the case, so no worries. So yeah, I mean, after reading both the Comedian and the Rorschach series, I really had to give it up for Brian Azzarello because being in charge of conducting the storyline for two major Watchmen characters and doing an outstanding job with both, I think he really deserves the proper recognition for it. And being a fellow Watchmen fanatic myself, I was really glad that he kept like he kept Alan Moore's original like character creation of the Comedian and of Rorschach, but he also incorporated his like a creative route as well, which was like was pretty radical and pretty badass. Um, so I'll just give you guys the basic synopsis on not each book, but I guess the series as a whole. The series is made up of 6 issues. I know there's only 4 out right now. I don't know when the 5th one's coming out. Hopefully it comes out soon because this was like one of my top series from the Before Watchmen. And basically in the first one, the Comedian has like this friendly relationship with John F. Kennedy and his younger brother, and John F. Kennedy and the Comedian go way back, and they're pretty close friends. His younger brother and the Comedian are not so much friends, but they're pretty like on neutral terms. However, that changes throughout the series. And in the first series, basically, what I found so interesting about it is that personally, I love U.S. history, even though it is so complex and there's so many loopholes and so many like hidden spots in it that needs to be further more investigated. In the first series, it indirectly talks about the scandal or the affair that John F. Kennedy had with Marilyn Monroe. And it's pretty obvious because when the Comedian was talking to John F. Kennedy's wife, I believe her name is Jackie. If not, then I'm so sorry. But yeah, they just started talking, and I mean, originally my idea, like the picture I got of Jackie Kennedy was that she's this very strong and delicate, but also fragile woman. She's a typical like I don't want to say trophy wife, that's not the correct word for her, but she's like the ideal wife. I mean, not only is she downright beautiful, but she has enormous amount of strength. I mean, to be the wife of a president must take a lot of strength and a lot of hardships. So in the first issue, it just the way Azzarello presented her as this whole other different person was pretty cool, and this is what I'm talking about with how he takes a creative route with the storyline. And basically Jackie and the comedian have this conversation, and you can kind of get the sense, I mean, it's not so unknown of the affair that John F. Kennedy had with Marilyn Monroe. Is it true? I don't know. Like I said, US history is some complex shit, so I don't know. And after the first, well, I'll show you the cover of the first issue, which kind of threw me by surprise. I was just like, whoa. And then the second issue is, of course, of him going into the Vietnam War. And as you can see, he's leading a trail of blood behind him. Very cool. And after the first issue, it really goes into the Vietnam War. And what's really great about it is that not only did Brian Azzarello keep Alan's original creation of comedian, but he also created it in an accurately historical context. Like with the whole issue surrounding the Vietnam War, he spot on got it, and basically questioning the war, why did the US even go into war. And this series is so jam-packed with so many historical references, so many references relating to the Watchmen graphic novel, of course. So it's a pretty heavy read for me personally, and it was just, for me, it made me appreciate, not only appreciate, but kind of feel sorry for the comedian just a tad more, because in the Watchmen graphic novel, I always had like this love-hate relationship with the comedian, and in a lot of the other before Watchmen series, I sort of had like this love-hate relationship with him. But I mean, it hadn't changed when I read this series, but it sort of made me like understand him a bit more on a personal level. And I think Brian Azzarello did an excellent job portraying comedian, and I think he was destined to do this. As lame as that may sound, I think he was downright destined to do this. And my favorite cover art would have to be the fourth issue, and it looks really cool because it looks like an old-fashioned photograph. Like, you have comedian in the middle with his iconic smiley face on his helmet, and then you have two Vietnamese kids on the bottom, which is pretty cool. So yeah, J.G. Jones did an excellent job with the artwork. I'm just gonna show you a picture that I personally like, that I thought was pretty awesome. I hope you guys can see that. But if you can see this panel over here with the TV, it's really cool how he made it look like the realistic version of the footage of when, of a realistic television broadcasting of when John F. Kennedy was assassinated. I mean, how realistic he made it look, and perfect for that time period. And then you, of course, have the basic comic layout, and then you have like this sort of realistic panel over here, and I just thought it looked really, really cool. And I mean, when I saw that, I was just like, whoa, that's so badass. And the cover art is pretty awesome. I mean, like I said, my favorite one would have to be the fourth issue. And yeah, I think that pretty much sums up for this review. Like I said, Brian Azzarello did an excellent job. J.G. Jones did an outstanding job with the artwork, and I think Brian Azzarello deserves a lot of recognition because writing the storyline of both Rorschach and comedian, you can understand how much pressure that may be. Like, that may have been on his shoulders, because personally for myself, Watchmen, comedian and Rorschach are two iconic characters in the Watchmen graphic novel, and I think Azzarello pulled it off outstandingly. Like, he pulled it off amazingly, and I really do recommend you guys picking up this series. I mean, like, you don't have to necessarily buy it if you don't want to, but definitely give it a read. And I think you guys are in for some treat, especially if you are like a huge history fan, if you are like a U.S. history major, if you just love history, or if you're just history savvy. You're gonna have a lot of fun with this. I personally had a lot of fun with this because I like anything, or I'm interested in anything that has to do with the Vietnam War. I mean, I watched Forrest Gump a million times. I watched Blood Plus a million times. Anything that has a hint of the Vietnam War in it, I am there, and it is done for. So, yeah, if you guys have any other suggestions on any other books or comic books I should read, or graphic novels, or even movies I should watch, leave it in the comment box below. Yeah. And tell me what you thought of this review. If you thought it was shit, then oh well. If you thought it was great, then and I will probably see you guys next week. I don't know. It's been a pretty crazy couple of weeks. I haven't been really feeling like making review videos, but I'm still pushing at it. I mean, a lot has happened over the past couple weeks, but I hope you guys had a great new year. I forgot to say. I hope you guys started off the new year on a good note. And if you guys have any other recommendations or suggestions, make a comment down below. And yeah. So I hope to God, whoa, I hope I see you guys soon. And yeah.